30 years in federal prison. $889 million forfeited. The price Guo Wengui just paid for turning political trust into a billion-dollar fraud. He told followers he would help bring down the Chinese Communist Party. A federal jury found that behind the movement was a massive fraud. And over 5 years, followers sent more than $1 billion into his world. It started, like most origin stories do, with an escape. Guo Wengui fled China in the mid-2010s. Accused back home of bribery and corruption, he always denied. Beijing wanted him back badly enough to ask Interpol for a red notice against him, issued in 2017. In New York, he reinvented himself. Billionaire, dissident, broadcaster to hundreds of thousands of online followers. He built an entire political movement around it. The new federal state of China, launched alongside Steve Bannon in 2020. Bannon was later arrested aboard a yacht linked to Guo in a case entirely separate from the one that would eventually catch up with Guo himself. And Lady May wasn't the only yacht. Farm loan funds covered $2.3 million of its upkeep. A separate yacht worth $2 million was bought outright as well. How do you take $1 billion from people who trust you? You don't build one machine to do it, you build 4. Machine 1 was GTV, stock in his own media venture, sold through an unregistered offering. When the SEC started asking questions about that stock sale, Guo didn't stop. He simply built Machine 2 instead. The Himalaya Farm Alliance. Lend him money, he told followers, and get GTV stock back, plus interest on top. Machine 3 cost more to join. G clubs charged steep membership dues and raised nearly $240 million from it. For that money, the club offered little to no material benefit. Guo, prosecutors say, got a fireplace log holder worth $53,000. Machine 4 was the boldest one yet. A cryptocurrency Guo claimed was 20% backed by real physical gold reserves. H-coin, H-dollar. Prosecutors later called them little more than made-up numbers on an internal company spreadsheet. No gold behind it. No real blockchain either. Just his word. And thousands of people still willing to believe it. Years earlier, regulators had already caught a piece of this. GTV and 2 related companies settled with the SEC. The companies neither admitted nor denied the SEC's findings, but agreed to pay more than $539 million. 4 machines, over $1 billion raised. Where did it go? 50,000 square feet in Mahwah, New Jersey. One mansion alone, worth $26.5 million. An $832,000 Lamborghini among the vehicles seized. A Rolls-Royce Phantom sat in the garage too. So did a custom-built Bugatti, worth $4.4 million. 2 mattresses, $36,000 each. An 8-foot television that cost $62,000 more. Nearly $1 million in Chinese and Persian rugs found inside the New Jersey mansion. There were also 2 more multi-million-dollar sports cars, bought just for his son. This was the lifestyle thousands of true believers were quietly, unknowingly financing, one wire transfer at a time. When creditors finally came looking for his money, Guo told a bankruptcy court he had almost nothing left to his name. A state judge disagreed and fined him $134 million for hiding that yacht from creditors. Years later, an appeals court affirmed that a shell company in his daughter's name was Guo's alter ego. It all came apart publicly on one March morning in 2023. FBI agents arrested him at his 5th Avenue penthouse that morning. Hours later, while agents were still inside, that penthouse caught fire. A 12-count indictment named him, and a longtime financier who to this day has still never been caught. Ming Je is charged with that same wire and securities fraud scheme. He remains at large. His own chief of staff didn't wait around for a verdict. She pleaded guilty and admitted her part in it. Guo didn't plead guilty to anything. He went to trial instead. And after a 7-week case, a jury made its decision. Guilty. 9 felony counts: racketeering conspiracy, securities fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. 2 years later, a judge finally decided what that verdict was actually worth. 30 years in federal prison, $889 million, ordered forfeited from his criminal proceeds. Not just cash either. His mansion, his Lamborghini, his Rolls-Royce, and his Bugatti. All named right in the court's own order. His former chief of staff received 10 years and also agreed to a $1.4 billion forfeiture judgment. Victims described the financial and personal damage the scheme had left behind. Guo has filed a notice of appeal. No grounds have yet been made public. The movement once promised to challenge a global superpower. Its founder now sits in federal prison, appealing a $1 billion fraud conviction.